Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday. It's the Wednesday of all Wednesdays, the Wednesday at the end of July, the 29th of July. My goodness, I was having a moment driving in this morning. I was like, oh, July is over. And that means like August is coming hard, fast. So you are here for a foundational series session on drive and sharing. Now, I know a few of you were in my session yesterday, and typically when I do this training. It's a 9 series session. I did change the name because I changed the sessions a bit. But I decided to kind of put these two pieces together, drive and sharing. I linked them together because they really go hand in hand. And I think it'll make more sense as we work our way through. So if you look at the slides, I mean, there are a poo pile of them. There are 71 total. So don't freak out because I may totally follow it for a little bit and then I'm going to kind of go off and do my own thing and then I'm going to come back into it. But I just want you to understand there's like so many screenshots in here that are going to assist you and really the slide deck for you is more of a reference point in case I say something and you're like, well, I don't understand what she's talking about. And that's okay. I want you to interrupt me if you don't understand what I'm talking about. But it's also like a reference point for you to come back to along with the video. Those will be helpful for you. Okay, so our goal today, by the way, bond, Virginia bond, I think I know all of you, so it's not a big deal. The goal today, we're going to, and we're an hour and a half. I'm going to just remind you of that. Like we're an hour and a half. If you got to step out, it's okay. Just step out and go. I understand. I, like you, I am triple and quadruple booked today a few times. So I understand if you have to leave, you will get the recording. And here we go. All right. So goal for today. And I did 2 separate sets of skills to keep it a little neater. We're going to understand Google Drive more. We're going to be able to navigate and like store Drive with a lot more ease. We're talking about collaboration. We're going to increase your sharing. So this is where we'll go into the sharing piece. And we're going to talk about what Drive really is. So, all right, here we go. Let's go. I'm not matching my clothes today, and that's a little sad. Anyway, the reality of my life. Okay, so what is Drive? So Drive is, and I have a picture down here, so I'm going to kind of jump to that picture because I think it makes more sense. Drive is your house, okay? It's your home folder. It's where everything goes. So even though within Google, you have like what I call the home bases, like Docs home, Slides home, Sheets home. And if you use the waffle or you use the new button within Drive to make any of those, sometimes you'll go to that homepage and it's where you see the blank. You'll say blank document and you'll start from that home base. Okay. So even though each app has its own home, everything is actually stored within Drive. That's where all your stuff lives. So understand the storage, you within a personal account, so an individual account like this Drive that I'm going to work out of today is my personal account. It has 15 gigs of storage. That's free, 15 gigs of storage. I can purchase more, not going to happen. Or in a school account, you have unlimited. So I'm actually going to toggle to my work account. So all of your domain accounts like Gloversville, Niskayuna, I don't even know what's this here, Ravenna, you all are Google domains. So you all have this over here. See this storage amount over here? 273 gigs. It doesn't say of an amount. That's because your school accounts are unlimited storage. You can have everything in there. You run out of space ever. So don't worry about that because it's not going to happen. So that's the good news. The bad news is if you ever leave and you want to take some of it with you, that's a lot of stuff to grab, right? I have a terabyte hard drive that I have a lot of things backed up on. So just keep those thoughts in mind. There's a lot of pieces in there. Okay. So why are we going to use Drive? So because it allows us to have our documents stored remotely in the cloud. And where is it? It's in the cloud. We're going to come back to that in a minute. So I can get to it anywhere, anytime, any device, including, oh, it's over here, like my Chromebook. So my Chromebook will go to my documents, my phone will go to my documents, my laptop will go to my documents. If I walk across the hallway and I go to my boss's office and I sit at her Surface tablet and I log in to Google Chrome and then into Google with one of my accounts, I can get the documents I'm looking for because they're not housed on my personal devices. And really, why use Drive? It's also a way to create files and folders that we can share. So we're going to talk about that a lot. You can easily search. I am sure this is really a conundrum for some people. There's stuff in there, they don't know where it is, right? They're like, I don't know, I can't find it. I'm going to teach you some tricks for that today. And then you can change Drive in a way to suit your own personal needs. And that's really what I like about Google. Sometimes we are tied to what our local district tells us, but we can still personalize it and make it our own. So that's going to help us a lot. So first thing, and don't worry about this, I just want to kind of give you a little heads up here. We're going to always work in Chrome because Google built the Chrome browser, and that's why Google works the best in the Chrome browser, because it built it for that specific purpose. It's going to work best on a laptop, a Chromebook, a laptop, a computer. And when I say computer, I mean like a desktop computer. So I just want to make sure you understand that. And over here, you see I have like a little red, not so much. iPads and tablets always function a little differently. Apps, when we talk about apps as far as not going out totally on the web to use it, they function a little different. And everybody knows that Apple has its own little mind. It kind of functions as its own little reality, right? Even on our devices, on our phone devices, it will function a little differently. Okay. So 2 ways to get to Drive. I can either hard type it in, and I tend to be a hard type it in kind of girl, or you can go to the waffle. So I'm going to go both ways, and I'll show you why I hard type it in. So typically I click a new tab and I will come over to the waffle. That's 2 clicks. And then I will click Drive. It will take me in. So that's 3 clicks. Okay, so I'm going to close this. I'm going to do it one more time. New tab. I'm going to type. And as soon as I type the word DRI, because I've done it before, it will automatically go. And then I hit enter. So it's probably the same speed. That is the way, this is my preference. This is the way I do it. I actually rarely go to the waffle to put things in. And that is more because, good morning, Kara. That is more because I want to be as efficient as possible. I did an analysis about probably a year ago for an entire day. I just kind of worked Google, and I had a little checkbox on the side. I wanted to see what my own habits were. And one of my habits was like, do I actually use the waffle, or do I hand type in my addresses? And I personally, it was like 75% of the time, 70 to 80% of the time, I will hand type in my addresses just because it's faster. So that's a good little like snippet right there, that anytime you want to go to any of the Google components, it's always the name of the component.google.com. So if I want to go to docs, it's docs.google.com. It's slides.google.com, sheets.google.com, forms.google.com. They all work the same way. It's got the same exact naming convention. And that will save you time if you're out in the middle of nowhere. And let me give you your other like freebie for the day. If you decide like, I'm out and I'm perusing, you know, the internet sphere, and I find something I really want, I can come up and I can just type, I can open a new tab and I can go to docs.new. And that is going to open a brand new document. That is a super time saver because I'm not having to go to the waffle or to the at home, and I'm not having to click blank and not having to start. It's automatically going to open a blank document for me. So that's a big time saver for you. And, you know, this is all about being as efficient as possible, because every second we save in this kind of world that we're in right now. I mean, as educators, every second we save navigating to something is a second we get back instructionally. And I think that's a huge conversation, a huge benefit right now. Okay, so I have gone to my Google Drive. And you can also, we've talked about owning your waffle and moving your pieces around, right? You're going to put your most used at the top, your least used at the bottom. My Google Drive is at the top. You can tell this is an old picture because it's a Google Plus. That doesn't even exist anymore. It's kind of funny. All right, so now let's talk about this Google Drive, this hot mess that we call our Google Drive. So you can see that mine is like, you know, it looks a little organized, hard to say. Let's just like an overall structure of it. Like I have folders on the top, files on the bottom. Anybody ever wants to know, I call that business on the top, party at the bottom, right? That's kind of the way it works. So these are everything I have organized. This is everything I don't have organized. And like, I like to tell you that I'm super organized. I'm organized in a few places, everything like, and you can tell that I have a lot in there, right? Lots and lots and lots in there. I don't know where everything is. I'll explain why in a few minutes. So you have a layout over here. So you have a sidebar, you have a search bar, you have some other components over here that are settings like. So what is Drive? Drive is that structure over everything. It's the house. It's your old home folder. So if you have on your desktop, like my documents folder, we used to have these and it would save to like the Z drive, the P drive. Think about that. Okay. Everything you create, everything you save, anything that's shared with you or anything you put there that you move there is in your house, is in your drive. So I think that will help when we think about that structure. Everything that you have is going to sit within this drive. Okay, so just pretend that the little drive icon's right over that. Perfect. Now, what can go into there? What are those core tools that actually can sit in Drive? Now, the interesting thing about Drive is that Google will not open everything. Google will house everything, just like your house. Everything can come into it. If I bring a European plug into my personal house, my house will hold it. It just may not, I may not be able to use it. That same exact concept works with Google Drive. I can bring lots of things into my Google Drive. I can store absolutely anything I want in there. It doesn't mean that Google is going to open it. The example that I always like to use is Smart Notebook. My Google Drive will house my Smart Notebook files, but it will not open them. It will hold them all for me, but it won't open them. I have to actually download them again and open them on my desktop. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so what are those core tools? So the core tools are over here. Docs, sheets, slides, forms, drawings, my map, and sites are all considered to be those core components, but Word, Sheets, and PowerPoint, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint are still going to open. And the functionality of these has gotten much easier. In the spring, or it might have been last summer actually, they made it so that you can open a Word document right within Drive and still you can edit it and it still stays a Word document. So people can edit in Word documents without any concerns. That is a very simple thing, makes life much easier. All right, so let's kind of look and see what's going on. So when we look at this, this is a screenshot, right? I have my components over here. So these are my big pieces, which we're going to talk about. I have the folders on the top. I have my files on the bottom. And these are just some little screens. I'm just going to go into the Drive and kind of walk you through. So over here, we have my Drive icon. And if I click it, it takes me to my Drive. So that's not a shocker. That usually happens in most of the pieces. I have the new button, used to be red, it was blue, and now it's a color. So I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again. Remember that Google can always change. Now, don't freak out. They're not going to make these massive changes where they're going to take everything and move the new button over here and the settings over there. That's never going to happen. They make nuanced changes, and they're really, if they're making a change, usually the functionality is to improve functionality. It's kind of like when our phones get an update Some of them are little and some of them are massive, right? But we have to always remember to kind of go with the flow. So these trainings are never about where to click, they're more about why to click. And it'll make more sense because you'll be able to function in other platforms kind of just as easily. So there are, we're going to come back to these. These sidebars are going to be what I need. Your storage is down here. I also have my drive here, which gives me kind of the same, it gives me the exact same functionality as the new button. I keep thinking one of these is going to go away, but they have not yet. So we'll see what happens. I have my folders on the top. Some of you may have a quick view across the top. I'm going to show you how to get rid of that. So if I come into the settings wheel at the top, you can, I always have to find where, because it's in a weird place. It is, and when it's turned off, I can't ever get it back. So now that it's turned off, I don't know where it is. Not in compact, it's not in here. I think I've already turned it off, so now I can't. Oh, there it is. It's under suggestions, done. We're gonna turn it on. So you could have a quick access here. I absolutely hate this. And I'll tell you why. This, kind of like my browser bar, is prime access. It's prime real estate. And this is my recent button. I don't need a duplication of services. So I just go into my settings. It's down towards the bottom. Sorry, I never remember where it sits because suggestions doesn't make sense to me. And I turn that off. It says make relevant files handy when you need them in quick access. Yep, that's what my recent is. So it's as soon as I turn them off, they disappear. And then your view may be a little different than mine, and we will talk through that. All right, so I don't want quick view. You can see that I store my folders in alphabetical order, and I do force folders. We'll talk about that as well. And that option is up here. So let's start here. There are three main sections within Google Drive. I used to say two, but now there are three. There's my drive. That's my stuff. Stuff that belongs to me. It's mine. I just want to see where I am. We're going to come back to new folders in a minute. I don't know why I do that. I used to do this training in a little different format. I'm going to do it my way now. Three main components. My drive. Mine. That's what I want to think about. It's my stuff. Stuff I made. It's mine. Or I may have like stole it from someone. Okay. But it's still, I've made it mine. So if you've taken my presentation today and you came up into the plus sign, there's a little, you will have a Google Drive button here, and you click plus, you can actually have your own copy of the slide presentations. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to go into another browser and I'm going to click the link. Oh, I'm going to I just want the link. It really gave me more. And I'm going to take the link. So this, my Firefox account is linked to a different Google account. So it should ask me to sign in, of which I will do. I'm going to sign into it, and you can see it's got a different account here because this is the account I use when I am tech integrating at Salmon River. So once it pops up over here, it should say to me, I should have a little Google Plus. Come on, roll a little faster here, dude. There it is. So you can see the little icon there. There is a add shortcut to Drive. So I can add a shortcut right to my Drive. So I'll have my own and I'll just say add shortcut. I can also file, make a copy of the entire presentation. That's new, by the way, because it used to be make a copy. And I'll say, yeah, I want to make a copy. And I'm going to rename it. I'm going to call it KVB. So it's my own. And I'm going to save it into my Drive. And I'm going to say save it. So that is two ways that you can save your own presentation, or you can save a presentation and have it so it's your own copy. So when people are doing a presentation like this and you want it, you can have your own copy. Now, some people dismantle that, so they turn it off. I will show you how to do that later today. I never do that because I'm sure you're here and you want the training, so feel free to have at it and make your own copy. So it's my stuff. So this is Drive. This is where all those things sit. Then you may have access to a shared drive. So a shared drive is, and I'm going to go out to my NARIC account because this will make more sense, in a school district, you may be a member of a shared drive. Shared drives are bigger folders like this. These are big folders that are shared with a small number of people. So my drive, I can share a folder with somebody, but it's at my preference, at my will. These, a shared drive, are like team groups. So you can see I have certain ones in here, right? So this one, Instructional Tech Coaches Group, is actually a group out of a different BOCES with a group of tech integrators. This is we have 4 tech integrators at NARIC that work at Rushton. So this is our Rushton group that just 4 of us have access to. This is our instructional team. There are 9 of us in the team. And basically, if I go into this folder right here, because it's really just a folder, everyone within this team, all 9 people, I can give them different levels of access. You can see they can all be content managers. Well, they could be content managers or they can be managers. And you'll see the levels. I can actually move them up and down, right? I can give people different levels of access. I typically stay the boss in here. So this person, anybody who is a content manager, can add, edit, move, and delete files. So a manager can actually manage the content people and settings. So if I move myself to manager, and then I would probably move everyone else because I'm kind of a control freak, I would kind of move everybody else to a content manager so they have less amount of access, right? Certain people. But basically, I'm allowing the people I want in here to have the level of access that I want to give them. And this looks just like Drive. The real difference is that everyone within a shared drive is a shared owner of the documents. These documents belong to everyone. So with that, with such power comes such power, right? We need to be careful who we grant that power to. So we have a folder. We made an agreement as a team that everyone in here, if we had old things, we would move them into an old folder and you would put them in there and not delete them unless we come to that agreement together, because there may be content we need in here. The benefit of using a shared drive is that if someone is going to retire, you will, or leave the district, any shared document. So if I left NARIC tomorrow, any document that I owned in my NARIC account could be turned off tomorrow. And the reason for that is because, according to state law, you're supposed to remove anyone's access into your databases the minute they leave the building. NARIC is very good about that. So if I left NARIC tomorrow, they would turn off my access. Once they did that, they'd basically revoke my accounts. All of the information that I have could be lost. If it's in a shared folder, because in a shared drive, not a shared folder, in a shared drive, everything within the shared drive belongs to everyone in there, and you would not lose access to those folders. So that is a really good thing to think about for team teachers. Create a shared drive. It must be turned on at the domain level. Create a folder where you can have, you can push things into it. My biggest story I always like to tell is at Shazy, little tiny Shazy Central. Some of you have probably never heard of that. It's a little tiny school between Plattsburgh and Rouse's Point along Lake Champlain. It's a tiny school. They call it, I think it's Shazy Rural Central School. It's rural. It's a K-12 building. And in there, they've been through some supers. But there was a secretary who was retiring. She had been the secretary in the district for over 20 years. To say that she had the keys to the kingdom would have literally been an understatement. She had been through 4 superintendents and 5 principals. Holy crow, did she have the keys to the kingdom. So she knew historical records. She had everything. So if she had retired and they had just deleted her account, that would have been a big loss to the district. So what they did is they put everything into that shared drive so that new secretary could just go in and grab what she needed as they kind of work through a transition period. So that's always just something to keep in mind. Okay, share drive. The last one is shared with me. This is the one, excuse me, that typically gives people the most anxiety, myself included. Okay, so I'm going to click on this and it's going to be anxiety ridden. As soon as I clicked with shared with me, this is everyone else's poo. So this is all the things that were shared with you. So I'm just going to give you a little scroll. So I have to understand, as a Google trainer, I get lots of things shared with me. So here we go. Oh, it gives me anxiety. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of things in here. And why do I hate it so much? It's because my friends are not organized. I hate it. Like, but there's some great stuff in here. Okay. There's some great stuff in here, but it's too much for me. I'm very particular with my drive. So I needed to stay as organized as possible. This is not doing it for me. So with that, I tend to not go there. So if you don't like the shared drive or shared with me, don't go there. The way I look for things is I really come up here and I start to search. I use the search functionality because that's what Google is known for. It's known to search. So let's say I am looking for a Google form. I would love to tell you I know where it is. I have no idea. So I can click right here and type in Google form, but I don't even know what I called it. So I'm kind of a hot mess, right, when it comes to these kind of things. So I'm going to use this advanced search option. Like, if you didn't know this happened, this I hope is your biggest takeaway from the day. So I can come into type and I can click this down arrow and I can search for just the type of presentation it is. So let's say I'm going to search for the form. And I don't want the owner to be anyone. I want the owner to be owned by me. So I have anyone, owned by me, not owned by me, or I love this one, a specific person. So let's say I am looking for the form built by Erica, because I have no idea what she called it. I just know that she sent me something. And I'm just going to tell it to search. Ah, there's none in there. Well, there you go. That's so much for doing that one. So I'm going to clear that and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to come down. I'm going to use a form. I'm going to do owned by me. I know it's by me, but I'm not even going to look for the name because I have no idea what the name could be in there. I have no idea. So here's all of my forms, right? Lots and lots and lots of forms. Can you just dump the entire concepts I've shared with me? Yeah. So Cindy, I would not do that. So I'll explain that in just a second. Yeah, you can dump you can't just dump it because, okay, I'll do it now. So anyway, and you look at the advanced share, you have the options in there. You can look anywhere, you can look for the date, and don't ever use the item name, always use the words, has the words, because I can just look for a book. So I'm just gonna look for anywhere I have a form owned by me that has the word book in it. See how I get a short list? This is a much easier way to search instead of me searching through things. So Cindy just asked the question, can I dump it? So why is a document shared with you? Because they want you to collaborate with them. And if you dump it, you break the collaboration. If you delete it and they made you, hold on, sorry. I have a tickle in the back of my throat. Excuse me. If you remove, if you delete it and you're an editor, so Cindy, say Michelle shared this document with you right here, and you were the editor, just like she was, and you deleted it, you literally deleted the entire file. So if you just dump them and you're the editor on any of the documents in there, you've thrown them out. So I'm going to tell you right now, the easiest thing to do is just don't look at it. And and I'm not kidding, like, don't go there. So if I'm looking for a document, so if I'm looking for any type of document, but the owner is, I'm going to say the owner is Erica. I know I have documents in here from Erica and I don't care, right? I can just go the other way. I can search. And now here's all the stuff that came out of my shared with me without me going in there, right? Don't like it, don't go there. It's like the nasty drawer in your kitchen, right? Everybody has a junk drawer. That, like, stay out of the junk drawer. So do things share with you take up your allowed space on personal? Yes, they do. So that's kind of where you need to make a decision. So that is why I have like so much stuff in here. This is all Google Trainer stuff, right? It's tons of stuff. And that's why I just did a clean the other day, because this was at 11:09. So I don't clean this because in a lot of cases I want this stuff. I clean my own stuff to get rid of what I didn't need. But it looks like in some cases, like I have duplicates of things. So I'm going to go through and kind of clean those up a little bit more. It's a good question, Linda. Okay, so we've done kind of this advanced search. That is super important to understand how to use this advanced search. Has the words, I'm going to look for a document that's a resources, and I know that it is a spreadsheet, and it's owned by me. Okay, and I'm going to do a search, and it should find me a document. So I have lots of things that are called resources. See, but at least it gives me, it's much easier for me to scan through them quicker and say, okay, I have a better idea of where it is, and now I have this instead of searching in all those subfolders, because I just like, as well as organized as I am, you can't always be super organized. And quite honestly, I stopped. The only folder that's organized are these like training folders. That's it. That's the only ones ever, because that's all that really matters for me right now. That's what I'm doing. Training is the most important thing I'm doing right now. So I can use the tools that are at my disposal, which is that advanced search, instead of worrying about everything else. I'm only going to be in charge of what I need. And if I'm looking for something I just worked on, all I do is come to recent. That's going to show me. So this is what I worked on today. This is what I worked on yesterday. And this is what I worked on earlier in the week. So you can see it goes back pretty far. And I am way more of a person that looks at things. I know what I'm looking for by what it looks like more than I will by its title. So you see, I'm using a lot of images. It makes my life much easier to look for those things. So the other thing you also have in here is a starred file. So what do you use your starred file for? So there's a few things that I think make a lot of sense. So yesterday I was in a iReady summit in the late morning through the afternoon. And this is a file that they give us that looks like this. I'm just going to pop into it, that we were using all day long. So as we were in the session, what I did is I just started. So, and what that allows me to do, so let's take this document right here. And you'll notice at the top, I'm going to make this a little larger so it's not 75%. You'll notice at the top next to the name, there's a star. So when I click that star like that, it allows that document to come in to this session. So it comes into this part right here. So I have a few set of things that I have in here that are things that I use all the time. And to me, these are documents that I go back to. They're reference documents. There's things that I will use a lot. So when I was remote training March through June, I was using this WebEx star every time. So you see, it has like a star on it actually in the name, so I knew where it was. This is a document I use all the time. So this one right here, I can actually, I can remove from my start because I'm not using that anymore because it was last year's document, and this one as well. So I'm just right clicking on them and I'm removing them from the star and they're coming out. So like I don't need this, that's a template for me. This is the one I used the other day, so I can remove from star. And you can see you can actually weed it down to what you need and what you don't need. Like these are old, these are iReady documents that I use all the time, but I don't need them anymore because these were just changed as of yesterday. So these are documents that I would use over and over and over and over again and have to find, and I would come in and I put them in here. So what is an example? One of them is I have a sign-in sheet. So the sign-in sheet always sits in my starred because it's something I need all the time. So when it's in here, I know that I can just come in. If I need to print more, I can print more. I don't have to search for them. And then I have a couple other documents that I have in a shared folder that I put in starred, just so I have that easy, quick reference to them. I just come in, go to the starred, and I find them right there. It may be a template you use with your students all the time. It may be the resource. If you're going to make a resource doc for your students, it might be that. It might be your contact hours. Those kind of things that you're going to use all the time. Something that I always had was a sorry, I'll come to a lesson plan. I don't even write those anymore, but like a lesson plan template that I would have there. That would be something I would use all the time. And so it's just one of those pieces that you have ready to go. Okay, so, and also the trash. So let's go back into Drive and let's just do kind of the quick and easy things. Does everybody know how to make a folder within your Drive? Because if we know how to do that, I'm not going to take up extra time. So it is shared with you, Kara, but you should make your own copy. So it's shared by link. So, and I'll put the link back down here in the chat. So you should make your own copy. You should always make your own copy because gosh only knows what I'll do with it. I'll try to be well behaved. So you can make a folder multiple ways. You can click new and I can click, there's a folder, right? I can make a new folder. I can come to my Drive and make a new folder. I can right click in white space anywhere and make a new folder. So I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to go into my folder to make a new folder. There's a reason behind that. I'm going to make a new folder in here, right? So there's my new folder. So it pops up. I have a new folder pop up. It's all ready to go. So I'm going to do my one for tomorrow, which is 19. And I just type in here fgs2 and tomorrow is docs. I know what it is. So I didn't put a star on it yet. Okay. And the reason is because I haven't had it yet. But so let's say I do. All good things are a right click away. Any Mac friends in the room, that's a command and a click. Okay. So I'm going to right click on this. I am going to rename it. So I can always rename my folders, right? And this is, I do this every day. I put a star on it. So as soon as I put a star on it, look what it's going to move from the bottom to the top. So see what it did? It moved from the bottom to the top. I am forcing my folders with a symbol. I'm going to back into my regular Drive so you can really see this in action. I am sorting my folders by name, and I'm actually in grid view. So you may be in list view. List view is right here, right? Okay, so you can, some of you love list view. You are the kings and you're all queens. None of you are kings, I think. Kings and queens or whatever you want to be of list view. I hate it. Just put that out there. You know why? I can't see everything. Look at all this dead space over there to the right. I don't like that. So I put everything in grid view. So I want grid view. I want to see all the action. I want to be at the track. I want to be right there. My nose right on the gate. I've never been to the track, just, you know, I'm not sure why that came to my brain. I want to sit there with my head right on the rail and see everything in front of me. I'm a short little girl. I want to see all the action. So here's all my folders. To me, this makes so much more sense, right? I can see everything here. Everything else below is just a hot mess and I'll figure it out later. So I am in grid view. I am also sorting when I click here by name. I can name. I can do last modified. Okay, so why don't I use last modified? Because that's recent. Because I can, instead of using last modified, I can use recent. Last modified me, that's also recent. Last opened by me, that's also recent. So that's why I do name, okay? I stick with name, it puts my things in order. I can have them from bottom to top or top to bottom. So I tend to be this way. Hold on. Uh-oh. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna break stuff. I'm gonna do a refresh. My computer decided to give me a update and you can't update right now. So I have my, come on there, puppy boy. Yeah, perfect. So this is from bottom to top, okay? So the arrow shows the opposite direction and that's the way it always works. So right now I'm going from Z to A, okay? If I wanted to go down, I would click this arrow. It's not really intuitive, this thought process, but just understand that it makes more sense. So I'm going to click it. I want to reverse my direction. And you'll see they're now, those are new, those little pop-ups. So they must have happened yesterday. I have folders on the top. That is, and I'm forcing them with a star. These are my most important folders. So when I say most important, these are the things I use the most. And my 1920 still has stars on it because I'm still pulling some stuff from it. And this is the folder that I will be in every day, all the time. This is where I build my trainings. Also, if you follow all the way through, at the bottom, I have force folders to the bottom. So these are my old folders, my old training folders. And I force them to the bottom with an X and a Z. Why do I do that? It just gets them out of the way. I still may want them. I'm in the process of taking this folder out. So when I open it up, you'll see that there's lots, it doesn't look like there's a lot in here, except this folder is packed full of stuff. So I'm trying to go through and see what I really need. So you can see, guys, I train a lot. There's some things I need. Almost all the Google trainings, I literally just delete now because 2016, 2017, they're obsolete and I probably won't be able to use them again because they are, they're old. So the screenshots are old. There'll be things I don't need. And I'm going to challenge you on that. If it's been in your drive or it's a document you have had for 4 or 5 years, I can almost guarantee you, you're not going to use it again. So throw it away. How dare I? How dare I, right? Throw it away, get rid of it. You don't need it, I promise. It's just, and that is really hard for teachers. I made a comment in a training a couple days ago that some of us are the keepers of the gin. I have a friend that I started with at Salmon River, and there was an old reading series before we got there. It was the Gin reading series, and she kept it. She still has it. We started teaching 33 years ago. She still has the Gin. And I'm like, girl, you don't need the Gin. Get rid of the Gin. And when the Gin is gone, so will Julia. She will be gone. That's kind of how our folders are too, and our files. Look through them and clean them. Now, don't clean them all in one time because your brain will start to explode. Do a little bit of a time. I usually set my alarm for 10 minutes and I will do 10 minutes at a time and I will clean. So I will come into a folder and I might come into a folder like this. I set my alarm for 10 minutes and I'll look through and I'll say, I really do need to keep that, right? You don't have to do it all in one fell swoop. It's a good rainy day, glum, kind of day, kind of task, but in small chunks. Or if you're feeling super clean and you've already done all your closets because we've been, quarantined for umpteen gajillion days, and you've done every junk drawer, even the one in the kitchen, it's a good thing to do that. So cleaning your folders out. And I love this concept of having a school year folder because it keeps things neat. So I know, like, okay, I did this training last year. It had a little different name, but I came into here and I could find it and I could reference it and kind of pull those pieces over. So you see that there's tons, right? This just allows me to keep things neat. And we do this in our classrooms. We clean up to start a new school year, but we don't necessarily do it in our drive. Do that. Make yourself a nice clean copy. So you make a new folder, you just name it, and then you start moving things in. So what if I want to move some things in? So let's say I want to take this badge because this is something I did in 2021. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to put it in that folder, and that's all I have to do. It will move. See how I just moved? It's just there. What if I want to take this and put this in there? Great. It's all done. It's all moved. It's all finished, right? So when you start to do that, it makes things much easier, and you don't have to worry about, you don't have to do these major, like, right click, move to, no, you can click and drag. Do the things that make the most sense to you. What if I want to move a file from my desktop to my Google Drive? So I do this once a month. So you can see I just, can you still see my desktop? If I do this, so Sandra, I'm going to unmute you. Can you still see my desktop?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. So I showed you that. If you haven't seen my granddaughter, there she is. Oh my gosh, is she not the cutest? She started to feed herself yesterday. I was all excited. I got the cutest little video. So let's say I want to take this folder right here, this esports folder, and I want to move it over. So we have done things in the past, like we open the folder and we move it over. Don't do that. Find a space, a white space. Click on the folder, drag it over. See how everything is turning blue? So you can see how my drive turned blue. I'm just going to drop it. As soon as I drop it, I get a message that I upload one item. It's uploading 60 items, right? It's doing that process. Now, On my desktop, you'll see I have lots of things there, lots of things. Once a month, I move everything to a drive, and I say a drive. Sometimes it goes to my personal drive, sometimes it goes to my work drive. I do that once a month. I do it at the end of the month. It's just a habit that I've gotten into. I am never hooked to a network. So like I don't have a home folder, my laptop is it. So if my laptop ever crashes and there's a file on it that I haven't moved, I am out of luck. So I try to make that a habit. I put it into my calendar. I leave 15 minutes. I do it. I'll walk away. I go for a walk. I'll come back. It'll be all done. And it doesn't take hours. Quite honestly, I move about 1,800 files when I move my stuff every month. And it goes in about 12 minutes. So it's not a hard thing to do. And that's all there is to it. You just click and drag. And you saw I minimize my window and I click and drag it over. So it's very simple to do. Okay. So we've made a folder. So you also see that I colored some of my folders. So I'm going to color this one. I'm going to right click on it because all good things are a right click away. I'm going to change the color and I'm going to make this one lime green. This year's going to be the lime green color. So yay, I love it. So easy to do that, to like change the colors, make colors that make sense to you. So if you're an elementary teacher and you're teaching multiple subjects, do your folders by like ELA, math, science, studies, okay, different colors. If you have folders by topics or units, do them like make all your folders a different color so that you can recognize them. It will make your life so much easier, I promise. You also have this really cool thing that you can do, which I didn't know until just recently. If I can figure out, I have to do this. If I, oh, no, I did the wrong thing. Sorry. If I go back out to the folder, you can right click on these and you can rename them and you can put an image in here. So I have to see how I did it. I think I did it from my phone actually, but you can go in and you can put a little icon in there as well. So if you're an icon person, you have that ability to do that. I don't remember how I did it. So I'll try to find those directions so you can do it. So you can have an icon. That doesn't resonate with me. The colors resonate with me. So you're going to find what works for you. You don't have to like, doesn't have to look like mine, doesn't have to, you can do what works for you. The next thing is I have shared folders. So I'm going to stop right here because this is huge. So many people share just a file with a person instead of a folder with a person. Okay, I'm going to go into this folder right here. This is a shared folder. There are 160 folders in here that are all shared with one person. And that would be Erica. She's a tech integrator. She's my colleague. You may have seen something just pop up on my screen. She was doing a Where in the World is Carmen San Diego training that I have wanted to take and I just haven't had a chance. So she just shared it with me. So I mentored her for like a year. And now what we basically do is we just share our trainings back and forth so that we have the ability to, work smarter, not harder. For example, she got asked last night to do a Zoom training. She's like, I've never done Zoom. I'm like, I got it. Here, you can have mine. So we share these documents. Now, I could have shared every one of these folders individually with her. That's a pain in the poo. I'm not doing that. So what I do is I share the whole folder. So when you share the whole folder, people get all their permissions for everything in there. So I'm going to go back out and you'll notice that this folder right here is not shared. So I am going to right click on it. I'm going to click on it, right click on it. Sorry. I'm going to share it. So I'm looking for that little person and we're going to do a lot more sharing in just a minute. And I'm going to share with Erica. Oh, I could share it with Eric Kurtz. I don't think he needs my stuff, but all right, I'm going to share this with it and I'm going to write this year's training folder. So she has the ability to go in and steal away. Okay. So she can take whatever she needs. And I am making her an editor. We're going to do these things in just a minute. She is an editor. That means she's to take anything she wants. She can make any changes to anything in there. Why do I do that? Because I trust her. I trust her implicitly. If you don't trust them, you make them viewers. So I'm sharing an entire folder. When I share an entire folder, she will not get an email notification when I put new things in there. She just knows that the folder exists and she has access to it. she'll go in and look if she's looking for something specific. So she's looking for something from me, and I say to her, hey, Erica, the Zoom training you're looking for is in the 2021 folder that I just shared with you. She'll come up in here. She's going to look for a folder. She's going to look for me to be the owner of it. She'll put it in by specific person, and she'll type the word Zoom, and it will pull up exactly what she needs, just like that. So we don't have to worry about emails coming at us. Makes my life so much easier. So if you are in a shared space, as in you're a teacher, a special educator, you have a co-teacher teaching with you, you are working with a team of teachers, you're a grade level, and you're sharing documentation back and forth, create a shared folder, just a new folder. You'll share it with the members of the team. And then when you share it with the members of the team, they will each know what's in there. So you can make them either an editor or a viewer. So if you're a co-teacher and you have some TAs in there that you don't want them to have edit rights, you can just give them viewer access to that. So we're going to come back to that in a minute. Everybody pretty comfortable with this? All of that stuff that I just went through? I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. And I want to check before I move on to the next section, because I am nowhere near. I'm unmuting everybody. Everybody good with that? I got a yes. Everybody's unmuted, so we're good?
Virginia, can you show me one more time if I have an old folder that I no longer need, but I have one document in there that I want to save into a new folder? Can you just show me how to click and drag one more time?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question, because that's like
one document
a unique, you know what, I'm going to go into, I just saw it here. I'm going to go into this one, this Google Admin Console. Okay, I've got one document in here that I want, right? Just one. Maybe I've deleted everything else. So the trick of this is I'm going to just click on it, which is going to turn the name blue, and I'm going to drag it up into my drive. Just like that. So now this folder's empty, and I can come out here and I can just right click on this folder and I can just delete it. So I could also take that document and I could just move it back. So I'm going to go into recent because it's also in my recent. It's going to pop up here in just a minute, maybe recent today. It cannot seriously tell me that I just moved all those. I did not. Oh, it's because I moved all my esports. I'm like, what? It's all of that nonsense. Okay, so that document should pop right up in here. And as soon as I move it, oh, wait, I know it doesn't because I didn't open it. And I would be able to like say, okay, now I want to right click on it and I can move it into a folder. Move to, I can navigate it through a folder that way. You know what, guys?
Okay.
Did I share the screen? I shared the wrong screen. Duh. I am. I just shared the wrong screen. Thanks, guys. Happens to everybody. Okay, I'll show you again. Snicker fucker. Oop, bad word there. I got the chat back on. Wow, I lost my share. That one. There. Okay, let's go backwards. My drive. Oh, somebody got a sad baby. I'm going to just mute you guys again. And that way we won't have to worry. Don't worry about noise. It happens. There we go. All right. So let's say it's this document right here, and I only want one of them. Say I want this one. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to throw everything else out. And I'm going to move it up here to my drive. And then it will pop out of there. Yep. And it'll say some people lose access. That's fine. So now it's gone. Then I could delete all of those and I could delete that folder. So then it pops into my drive, and then the trick will be to find it or move it. Or I could do this. I could right click on it and I could move to, which is a very specific thing. And it's going to start to show your folder. So if I take it here and I say, yeah, I really want to put it into this folder, and I could just click move. So that's an easy way to move things around. And then I can just delete the folder. So I can come up here, here's the folder name, and I could just remove this folder right there. I'm not going to do that because that'll send me right for a tizzy. That should help. All right, so I have basically worked my way through here. I'm just gonna look real quickly because I never really follow directions. I wanna just make sure I've done all these pieces. This folder this slide right here, slide 26, is a slide that shows you all the right-click options. So if it were me, and it's not, I would make a copy of this to share with my students. So how to do that? I can file, download as a JPEG. I could just take a picture of it. I could take a snippet of it. I could take a picture of it. I would do something. This is a folder. When I was teaching tech, this was a not exactly this, but along these lines, exactly the same thing, that it was the equivalent of this. I always had all the right-click options there because I always wanted my students to talk through the process. So this would almost be a reference point for them to have. So they knew those things that they could do, because these are always going to be important, because you might need to teach your students how to make a new folder, how to change the color, how to make it a star. If you star everything, that's not going to make sense, right? If I star everything, then everything's important. No, that is not true. Only certain things are important. So this is a folder that I would use a lot. I'm just checking. So we did all this. I told you I never stay in order. Okay, so now I'm going to go into advanced. I'm going to go into sharing. So some of these slides are not applicable because sharing changed, and I have a slide right here. Sharing changed in the end of May, early July. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go through the new sharing, and I changed the screenshots out here in this sharing document. I didn't want to get rid of them because sometimes it is very valuable to remember the process that you were in. So when we talk about sharing, the real purpose of it, and the real purpose of this folder right here, this shared with me, is this bad boy right here, this slide. Okay, we have shared forever via email. We've done the email thing where we send the email. So I send a document to Sandra. She does her changes. She sends it to Carrie. She does her changes. She sends it to Alyssa. She does her changes. She sends it to Linda. And it has to get to Kelly, but you know, Linda's like, screw this. It's after hours. I'm not doing it. I'm going to do it in the morning. And you know, everything breaks down. Sorry, Linda. You would never say that, but or sick baby, or out, or a family emergency. And I love it. I might, right? So everything stops, right? And we've all been in those situations where that happens. Like it has to get through, and it just hits a spot, like, and it doesn't go any further. And somebody will say, well, where is it? And you're like, I don't know. I did my part. I don't know. So that's email collaboration. But when we use collaboration software, which is really what Google is, it allows everybody to collaborate on the same idea at the same time or different times, anytime. So the new mom can do it at like 3 o'clock in the morning when they wake up. And I use that example because I'll tell you what, my daughter-in-law, I swear to God, she's on the computer at 3 o'clock in the morning every morning. And she's like, yeah, well, you know, Amelia's playing. So I decided just sit up for a while and I'll do a little work. I was like, oh my gosh. She's like, I can get some, it's quiet time. Nobody else is in the file. And I was like, okay. So there's only one file. There's only one copy of the file. When we did it this way, we had multiple copies of the file moving along. When we do it this way, there's only one, and it's constantly updated in real time. And this is awesome. No more USB drives. No more, let's email the document to myself and then email crashes. No more, let's leave the USB drive in my computer and let me drive 45 minutes back to go get it, right? All of those things are gone. Thank God. I would have never done that multiple times, just so we know. So we've already done this, the sharing features. So in my drive, right? In my drive, I am the owner. Everything in my drive, I'm the owner, or I am the stealer, and it's mine, 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 mine. This is from Finding Nemo, by the way. That's how to always remember it. And the owner controls permissions. Always important. So when we share, so you'll see there are lots of options. And I think I've shared almost all of them. Haha, I've shared almost all of them, but we're going to go through a few of them again. And I'm going to share from my drive again. So I right-clicked on this folder, and I have the share button right there. Okay, so I'm going to share this with one more person. I'm going to share it with myself. again, because I'm in my personal account. And so a trick for myself is I share it to my work account and then I have access, allowing myself to be the editor. Yes, awesome. So now it's shared to 3 people. If I'm in the folder, I can come up into the folder and I will see a circle. That is another share bubble. I can share right there. Okay, so there's an option also to share. And I also can, in many cases, once I am in a component, so when I say component, I mean like an app. When I am in an app, there should be a share button. The share button was always blue, okay? I now have changed it to the colored share rectangle. The colored share rectangle will change based on the app you are in. If you are in Docs, it's blue. If you're in Sheets, it's green. If you're in Slides, it's yellow. It's always in the same place. It's always got the same look. So don't ever worry about that. That's really important, just so you know. Just has a different color. In Forms, there's no share button in Forms. It's a send button because we don't really share forms because we make them and we have collaborators. We'll learn more about that as we go. Just so those are the basics. Okay, so there are only 3 sharing permissions, 3 only. You can view, you can comment, and you can edit. Ooh, Virginia, bad human. There's viewer, editor, and commenter. Viewer, commenter, editor. They used to say view, comment, edit. So if I go in and share this document right now, like this, and I click here, that language is no longer view, comment, editor. They changed it to viewer, commenter, editor. Okay, why do they do that? Their reasoning is it's to make it easier. So if I remove, I'm going to take this one right here, right? And I click on that, I can remove this person. That's myself. So I can remove myself off that. I can also, you can see I'm the owner. I could make Erica the owner. You can only change ownership across your domain. So Cynthia can only do that in Niskayuna, right? Cindy, you're in Niskayuna, yeah. So she can only change ownership in Niskayuna. Sandra can only change ownership in Ravenna. She can't change, Cindy and Sandy could not change it across domains. So Cindy couldn't be working on a document and have it shared with Sandy and then just change it. That's not an option. You don't get that option. Can only change within your domain. Okay, so that's the main thing. So this discard, you do have to save changes. View is the equivalent of a PDF. You never have to take a Google document and make it a PDF. I got lots of people emailing me, hey, I need a PDF writer for Google. No, you don't. You just need to use View. Then it's PDF. Nobody can change it. So even in Google Classroom, if you are making a document, students can read only. Students can view this file. It's read only. It's a PDF to them. It's really not, but that's the only view they have. They can only read it. They can only look at it. Commenter, they can comment down the side. Okay, so they have the ability to come in, you know, like in this, I could click on comment. They would only have this level of ability. Once I click comment, it's going to say nice spelling. Right? I'm going to say that to myself, right? So it's all done, and I'm just going to comment. So that's how to use the commenter. And then editor, anybody can come in and change things. So change the document, throw it out, get rid of it, delete it. All of those are not good, right? But you got to trust your editors. So here's your view. So you have some nice little screenshots in here, just so you know what they look like. This is what a commenter can do. They're only allowed to comment. They need to use the comments button. They can be given directly into a document. So I have lots of little notes in here. Editing. These are who can edit, add, edit, or delete. They can also work in the document at any point. Ignore these. I thought I got rid of them all. Boy, I did not do a good job last night. So document creation. This is always important. When you create a document, any document, you're automatically the owner and it's automatically private. Default turns right to private, okay? It was before, it depended on the settings of your district. So if I am in my NARIC account and I come out here and I make a new doc, I'm just gonna make, oh, no, cancel. I'm going to make no, I don't want to do that. Oh, it wants me in something. So let's go to my drive. Sorry. I'm going to make a new, I want it to come to new. I'm going to make a new doc, right? Let's get it all done. And I'm just going to say junk this bad boy because I need to have a title on it so I can clean stuff up, although I don't usually junk it. All right. So if I go to share this, right, and you can see it's got a lock on it, they are defaulting automatically. This is what it looks like. Okay. This is your default. It's always going to lock it right off the bat. It's always private. I can't imagine there are other options in here, right? And here, so when I click, I'm going to click done. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to come to share, and I click, there was a change, and I'm going to come in here, and you will see the options. You can do restricted, which is when I look at it, this language is a little changed. Only people added can open the link. So if I was going to share it to you guys, only you guys would be able to see it. But I have to add them in by name. Other one, NARIC. Anyone at NARIC can view. Okay, you can see the little building. Anyone with the link. And then I have to go through the next piece in here when I go into, sorry, I got friends talking today. And then anyone with the link, and I can change this. I can make them anyone with the link, but then I have to come through and change it to viewer, commenter, or editor. So these are all represented in here. So you will see the little pictures? They have changed just a little. This is a personal account. And this is a domain. So any school account is like this. So when I clicked on this and I said NARIC, it gives me these three, and now they're calling this restricted, okay? Just so you know, they've changed the language a little. I have not figured out how to get a nice clean screenshot in here of that. And that's why I didn't do it. But quite honestly, they've changed the name a little, but they haven't changed much else. So when we walk through and I call these visibility options, there are 5 ways. So on is super public. So if I come out here and I make this one change, anyone with the link can edit. That is a full public document. See the little globe? Okay, done. And you'll see the little globe. These haven't changed, just the names, like they're giving them a little bit different names. I literally have to come out what these are and go over the screenshot because I can't get those individual screenshots in. So the first option, you have public, anyone with the link, which is what you guys have. Public is used very rarely because that means it's Googleable. You like that word? Anybody can come in and Google it. I use this the least of all of them. Anyone with the link, that's the one I use the most. Anyone with the link, that's how you guys get all of your presentations. They're all built with a bit.ly. I give you a bit.ly, you click on it, good to go. I have no idea who you are. Excuse me. I can see you up here as idle squirrel. No, anonymous squirrel, anonymous anteater, anonymous iguana. You come in as anonymous, but I know that there's people in it. On at NARIC, so I could give it to access to anybody at NARIC. If I was in my NARIC account, anybody at NARIC would be able to find it. They would be in anonymously. Anyone at NARIC with the link, that's a little bit more restricted. That's 4. That would be if I was sharing it and you guys were all in my school and I shared it to all of you via link, you'd all be in, you'd still be anonymous. And the last one is specific people. If you're going to share it to people specifically, that's in as I type in my email, you want to know who made what changes, that's the way you will share it. If you want to see changes made, you must share it by email. I'm not going to be able to say that enough. I'll say it every time I train in docs and slides all the time. You have to do it that way. So when you go through here, I also went through all the visibility options, all 5 of them. So 5, this is the most restricted. 4, anyone with the link. You'll see there's a little bit. I've already done all this. Isn't it crazy? I changed this. I tried to pull it in, and for some reason, a couple of these slides got all wonky on me. And I thought I grabbed them out, and so sorry, but kind of like me, I'm always a work in progress. Story of my life. Here we go, right? Three, I didn't do two. I don't know where two is. I guess I decided to delete it. I guess I'll put that in there. There's another one in here. Wow, must have been one of those days. I'll get it in there. Sorry, guys, not sure what I did. I'm gonna duplicate the slide and make it a 2. Why do I not have a 2? That is so weird. Anyone with the link? Who knows? Could have been any reason, right? I was in it Linda mode. I'm not doing any more work. Yeah, we all know that's not right, right? Okay, anyone with the link, I will change that screenshot for you. So do you put the link in a doc and an email? Do you put the link to the doc in an email in order for people to see changes? Nope. Good question, Cindy. Nope. Changes are made automatically. So you don't have to email anybody that changes have been made. They should know. You're just going to say, like, I changed the document. Don't email it to them. Make them go find it on their own, right? And that's kind of the benefit of having a shared document. You don't have to send them the link. Sometimes if they can't find it, yeah, you may need to. So I think that's important to just understand kind of that process. So when we're sharing with others, if I come out here into this folder, I'm going to come back out into my drive and I look at a folder that's shared with others, right? And I'm going to click on this and shared. I have only 2 options. Come on there, bad boy, right? I have 2 options. I have viewer and editor. Okay, why is that? Because I'm going to do comment on the pretty color that I have on it, right? So folders you can only edit and view. Those are the only 2. But files you can edit, comment, and view. So those are the levels. They're a little different. And these screenshots are not exactly correct. Sorry, I'm going to get those changed for you. Sharing settings. So this is, again, these are they're kind of the same, but they're a little different, okay? This is changed. So if you've ever seen how to change the sharing settings and you want to know, this is the magic. I'm going to share you the magic right now. I'm going to come into this folder and I'm going to look at the share settings. And I want to make some changes. So wait, I thought you said if you want to see changes, you need to send it via email. No, you don't need to. No, that's the old way. That's the old way we used to share. So now when we're collaborating in real time, the changes are going to be in real time. So if you guys all worked on a document together at the same time, and whoever is in my slide presentation, there's 2 of you in it. I'm on slide 66. Go and change the color of share settings while I do this explanation here. I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter to me. If I want to change somebody's restrictions, like I don't want them to make changes, it's a little setting right here. See, right now I have this set, so editors can change permissions and share. If I unclick that, that means that Erica cannot share my folders with anybody else. So if you want to give more, if you want to be more restrictive on some of your documents, you can do that. So if I come up here into the share mode and I click this right here, so this is this document, and I click this right here, I can also, you saw that I did the sharing, I can click right here, viewers and commenters can see the option to download, print, and copy. I can remove that. So if you're sending something to someone and I want to change those settings, I can make that happen. I gotta turn my friends off. I can make it so they cannot download it. They can't. In most cases, we don't need that. Some cases, we may be sharing a document out. Administrators will use this more often than other people. Like, you know, it's a document you don't want anybody to share. Are there ways around it? I'm going to tell you right now, yep. Because when I did my ISTE certification, they gave us a Google Doc and we couldn't print it. And, you know, I was like, screw that. And I went through and I screenshot every single page and I had it as an image. So it can be done. Because it took me a lot of time. It was a 45-page document. It took me almost an hour and a half, but I really needed it so I needed to write on it is basically what was happening. And I didn't have that option. So it can be done. Don't think that there's ever not a way around it. Okay. I got rid of that slide, right? I did get rid of it. So no, I'm going to share that one. Not skipping that slide. So this is this. is available in here. And I'm going to show you like a little trick. So I am going to print my screen. Actually, let's see if I can do my snipping tool. I'm going to grab my snipping tool and I am going to, oh, you guys are in the way of my snipping tool. You're so sweet, but you're just in the way. I'm going to grab my snipping tool right there, copy. Okay. And I'll put that right on the slide so we have it. Right? So if you've never seen the snipping tool, that's it. Nope, don't need it. Right? And I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to just put this right in here. So you, when you do this, talk about editing in real time, right? You are going to click. You're watching the magic happen here. You're going to click right there. That's the space you're going to click. There, you've just seen me like edit presentations in real time. So that I loved training in Google, but the problem is that the screenshots change all the time. So sometimes it's just really hard to keep up with them. And I have a slide deck that I use all the time, but when things change and it's just hard to kind of keep up with it. So that coming in here will bring you into this where you can kind of change those options. That is helpful. So like those sharing, I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so let's just do a really quick review because you're going to, I can guarantee you there are, you will always have issues with sharing. I don't mean that in a bad way, but if there's one thing that mucks people up, it's sharing. And it's just basically because there's a lot of options to it. So I'm going to unmute you all again because now I'm going to ask you questions. It's just quick review. What are those sharing levels? There's 3 sharing levels. What are they?
View.
Viewer.
Is it?
Say it again. I'm sorry. What? Editor and viewer. There's one more in the middle. Viewer is the most restricted. Editor is the least restrictive. And then there's off the side.
Thing.
Commenter. Okay.
Commenter.
Comment. You got it. Comment is the one that's used the least. We're going to use it tomorrow in docs. Okay. Commenter. It's a little different. But tomorrow when we're in docs, it's going to actually be in a document that I wrote, and I'm going to have you commenting on it off the side so you can kind of experience what that feels like. Commenter is a really good view for teachers to use with students because you're writing off the side. You're basically kind of giving them edit suggestions. Okay. How many levels of visibility are there?
3.
5.
5. 3 in a personal, 5 in a district. Okay. 3 in a personal, 5 in the district. What is the most restrictive level of visibility? That's a good question. I'm going to take you back in here and you're going to look at them. Of these, which one is the most? Ooh, viewer is the right idea, but that is sharing. You're right along the right idea, Michelle. Keep going. So look at, so visibility, I'm going to share my content. If I share my content right here, which one of these is the most restricted?
Private.
Private, right? That makes sense, right? 5 is the most restricted private. The most open is?
Public.
Public, you got it, right? So public, anyone with the link, and private are the ones that exist within the personal account. All 5 are in a domain, okay? You will use anyone with the link and you will use private the most. Those are the ones you will need. You probably won't need anything beyond that. So having all those others, can you remove a collaborator?
Yes.
Be confident in that answer. What was that? Give me a hard yes. Yes, absolutely, yes. Trust yourself, right? I mean, this is a safe zone, right? Yes, you can always change a collaborator. Absolutely. Which is easier with students, sharing at the folder level or sharing at the file level?
File.
Think big.
Folder.
Right, always easier, right? You're welcome, Cindy, not a problem. Share at the folder level. because it's gonna be easier. You could share a whole document with your whole class and have all your resource documents right in it, right? Or you could share with your parents at the folder level so they have access to everything in there. Okay. Can you limit someone's ability to print something you have shared with them? Yeah, absolutely. Don't let those people do anything. limit their access. Yes, you absolutely can. And where you do that, you're looking for the setting wheel. Awesome. So just some ways to use sharing, just to give you a couple quick little ideas. You could do committee folders, and this sharing concept also works with a shared drive. Okay, so not so much shared with me, but a shared drive. So committee folders, shared student folders. So that's different than classroom. And you see, I gave you lots of options. You will only see the options if I show you the content. You will see lots of options in here. You can do teacher to student, student to teacher, teacher to parent. There's no reason you can't share a folder with a parent. And admins can go admin to teacher, admin to student, admin to parent as well. You can have a shared district folder. You can do group work that way. You could do grade level content that way. You could do curriculum maps, okay? Sharing tricks, these are the big ones. Share at the least public level if you're concerned. Remove access as needed. Making a copy, so going into your shared with me and making a copy and putting it into your own drive removes the collaborative ability. I don't know if I could say that enough to enough people. If there's ever a mistake that happens, this is right here, okay? So that's it. And youth commenting when working with students. So that, my friends, is it. That's a lot. Some of you are going to be in this, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, my brain hurts. It's okay. I don't know. I had to have this chandelier picture because it just cracked me up last night. I was in a weird state of reference last night, I'll tell you that. I am going to stay for a couple minutes if you have any questions. Feel free. You are going to get the video. You will get the video, the link. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. You know that you can always do that. And I know that I'm going to see a ton of you tomorrow. So I hope you have a great day, and thank you.
Thank you. Virginia, I just had a quick question.
Sure.
I signed up for most of the Google series, but
Yep.
next week I'm on vacation.
You can
So
watch
I'm
it
not
late.
going to be able to join the live meet.
That's fine.
So I'll just get the email and I can watch it at my leisure and then just send you a message that I viewed them.
So what I do is when you don't attend and I send you the link, I ask for like takeaways, and I'll give you like a list of how they're applied. So I might say like, give me your 5 takeaways that'll apply to your class. And I just keep those of record because I have to have
Okay,
some proof that you were here. It's pretty easy. Most people can do it in a couple minutes after they watch the video, or the equivalent of taking notes. Okay. Yep.
Okay,
Thanks for letting me
perfect.
know,
Thank you
Carrie.
so much. Today
You're
was
welcome.
great. That was very
Thank you.
helpful.
Yep.
All righty. I'll
Have
see
a
you on
great day.
Friday.
Yep.
Thanks, you too. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.